One station making history every day.
Chicago, Chicago.
Now, John Cass and Lauren Cohn.
89 WBLS.
Professor Schnookums and Matt put this music on to
Get you in the mood?
to stimulate the Alistair Cook in my brain because they know I'm about ready to lose it. Given that they want me to calm down. Given that it's Lent.
It is Lent, and you've given up a lot for Lent, right?
Well, I'm a Greek Orthodox. We don't give up stuff as Greek Orthodox. We just have Lent. We have fasting. Mm-hmm. And I haven't eaten anything with a face for several days now.
Which is why
Not even a backbone.
I wanted to help you out and bring in my good friend Karyn Calabrese, who's with us this morning. Good morning, Karyn.
Good morning, Lauren and John.
Karyn is renowned, known all over the world for being a leading raw foodist and vegan. She has 3 restaurants in Chicago. She has written a new book, Soak Your Nuts, which we have a wonderful charity event tonight, right?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to being there with us. And John Sally is coming in for the event. He's a known vegan.
Former NBA star.
Yes, NBA star.
The last time we saw John Sally, he was not a vegan. He was eating a bowl of bugs with Patty Blagojevich on Survivor in the jungle. How are bugs? Are bugs meat? Bugs have feelings.
Wait, do they have hearts?
I don't know.
Why they have bug?
They have a face.
Kinda. They don't have any cheek meat to take out
you
there.
You can't get a leg or something to eat. No, well, I know. I'm not about making everybody a vegan or being 1,000%. I'm 100% vegan for 44 years.
That's why you look so great.
But what I try to tell people is you don't have to have meat every single meal. People don't realize that in the early 1800s, the only people that had heart disease were rich people because they were the only ones that could eat meat all the time.
And gout.
Heart disease, gout, that's right. And so I'm just saying skip a meal or two. That's why I opened up my restaurants and I make the food so near to what you're used to eating so that you have that emotional feeling of eating the food too.
Well, it looks good and it smells good, doesn't it, John?
I can't wait to try it, but first I have to ask you, okay? Karyn Calabrese, Soak Your Nuts. Where'd you come up with the title? It sounds like something. First of all, are you any relation to my buddy Frank Calabrese Jr. from Chinatown?
No, we're not related. It's a very common Italian last name.
Right. And you do look great. I have to admit it. Okay, you through the theater of the mind of radio. You should know
she's
that
gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can go to my website too and check out the unretouched pictures. No Botox, no surgery, no nothing. Seriously. And it's all from the diet. All the women in my family died overweight and young, John. That's why I started doing this. I do it for health and vanity.
When you turned me around years ago when I worked at Fox News and we did our first story together and I was sort of a non-believer and then I met Karyn and you changed my life. I love vegan food. I love raw food now.
So you have a thing tonight. It's
yes, I have. It's a book launch. It's for my new book, but it's also I'm doing it as a charity for my son that passed away 5 years ago.
Yeah, and the proceeds will be going to the Cane Rescue and the Chicago Cane Rescue and Save Humane Chicago.
Right.
Okay, let's start. Okay. What am I?
That's a flauta. That's a Mexican food, and stick it in the sauce there.
And this sauce is.
Now it's not hot, but you told me you can really judge even if the food isn't warm anymore.
Is it caliente? I mean, spicy.
Sí, un poquito.
It looks really good. And listen to him eat. Look at that. I'm going to try it at the same time.
I see a slight smile there.
Karyn, people have sort of a weird perception of what vegan food is, too. They hear the name and they
expect it to be tasteless and boring. And I always say there's no way I could have eaten this way 44 years eating tasteless, boring food. And all of these recipes that you're trying, John, are in my cookbook that people will be getting a copy of tonight. Now, that's a steak wrap, my version of a steak wrap.
It looks like...
He's speechless, so you know this means that he likes the food.
It looks like I'm on 26th Street at Nuevo Leon, and I see like a taco wrap, soft flour, and I see vegetables in there, lettuce, a little pepper, and steak in there.
There's steak, and I'll tell you what it is after you eat it.
And what sauce do I dip it in? This one?
No, it's got a sauce on it. It's got a chipotle. It's kind of spicy.
Wait, can you hear? By the way, the last bite I made, think of my big fat head with my eyes fluttering, looking upward, Sort of like a food porn face because it was really tasty.
Food porn. I love that. That's a new way to. That's a new title for
it'll
a
go
book.
with my soak nuts. Yeah, food porn.
Good.
Soak my nuts. I swear to God, it's really good.
And the reason for the title of the book, Tastes Like Steak. You know what you're eating? Tofu and seitan. We make our own fake meat.
Satan?
I know what
the
you're going
number
to say.
666?
I know you were going to say
that. I thought that was Barack Obama. He was in the Bible on TV the other day, right?
But we make a combination. We make our own meat. It's in the cookbook, how to make it. And you feel like you're eating steak, right?
Okay. It tastes good.
Okay, you won't call it steak, though.
I grew up, I'm not like these other people that can be easily swayed. I grew up in a butcher shop, okay? And I'm still putting out the call. Gino, you know who you are. out at Capri Restaurant in Burr Ridge. A plate of carpaccio, please.
All right.
No, this is really, seriously, this is really good.
It doesn't taste exactly like it, but it gives you the feeling.
It tastes good. It's not,
it gets rid of that perception that vegan food is tasteless, like Karyn said, or isn't good.
You want to dip that in the sauce.
Now, I'm looking at a crab cake.
And it looks like a crab cake.
Crab cake. With some
chipotle ali.
Chipotle ali, right?
Yeah.
What ali? Not alio.
Alio.
That's the only.
Alio.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the real alio and like alio with linguine. That's how I like it.
I do a vegan linguine.
What
I
is
think
it?
you're eating a crab cake, right? It's spun tofu.
Exactly.
He's eating tofu. Where's the camera? Where's
Sean,
Professor Schilkums taking a picture of John Cass eating tofu?
Sean from Elmwood Park, please come and give me.
He wants to be saved.
Two in the back of the head.
And we haven't even gotten to the dessert menu yet.
Now, if we keep going like this, I'm about ready because I thought vegans were. I sit on the floor and there's basically chunky women with sandals and they're in Birkenstocks or whatever.
And then we have Karyn, who looks like a supermodel in the studio.
And we eat brown rice out of a bowl and sing Woody Guthrie songs. This is not like this, right?
No.
Do you know my tagline for my restaurant is?
My compliment, chef.
No, it's mine. I did that.
That's very
good. He made
good.
the desserts. That's me.
Okay, this is very good. Now, how did you make the sauce? I'm having some more crab cake with this spicy sauce.
Well,
awesome.
you've got the cookbook there. But what I wanted to tell you is my tagline for my restaurant in Greektown is I'm making vegan sexy, because I have that same. I don't want the perception of Birkenstocks and tree huggers. Not that there's a problem with it, but that's not me. It's just not me.
See, when I met Karyn years ago, this was back in 2000, I wanted to look like Karyn. So I eat the way Karyn eats because my goal is to look as good as Karyn.
I'm going to look like Karyn, too. All right, John Cass, Lauren Cohn, traffic and weather first on the fives with Ryan Burrow.
89 WLS, traffic and weather first on the fives.
From the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, here's what the roadways look like right now. Inbound Kennedy O'Hare to downtown, 28 minutes. Montrose to downtown, 18. The express lanes right now running maybe a little bit slower than those local lanes. If you have the choice, you might want to just stick with the local lanes. Edens to the Ohio Street ramp, 17 minutes right now. Inbound Eisenhower, Woodfield to downtown, 40 minutes. Wolf to downtown, 22. Inbound Stevenson, North-South Tollway to Lakeshore Drive, 33 minutes right now. Harlem to Lakeshore Drive is 18. Inbound Dan Ryan, 95th to the Eisenhower, 22 minutes. Inbound Bishop Ford at 111th, a disabled vehicle blocking the left lane. IDOT's there. They're going to get that thing cleared up for you. Your 89 WLS Weather Channel forecast. Lots of sunshine today. Still will be cold, though. A high of just 34 degrees. Tonight we dip down to 21. Tomorrow partly cloudy skies. A high around 40 degrees. Only 22 degrees right now at O'Hare. 22 as well at Midway and the Lakefront. Next report coming up at 10:25 on 89 WLS.
Lauren Cohn, John Cass, 89 WLS. We're here with the mistress of vegan food, the severe mistress, Soak Your Nuts author, Karyn Calabrese, who has 3 restaurants, and I might actually go to one now because I tried her meals, and they're good.
Well, back to the title, too, of the book, Soak Your Nuts, just so you know. 1, I wanted a title that nobody would forget. And 2, if you soak nuts before
scary, by the way.
If you soak nuts before you eat them, it breaks down the enzyme inhibitors in the fats, and so it takes less to fill you up. So
I know. My mom soaks the lima beans and all the beans, okay?
Right.
But let's get to the issue now. We're in Lent for many people, Orthodox Christians like me, Roman Catholics, Protestants. Some are in Lent, which means you fast, getting ready for Easter. What can we replace? Now, I'll tell you what I had the other day at home. Betty made spanakorizo, which is spinach, rice, tomato. That's it. Little lemon. It's wonderful, but...
Well, if you wanted to get really hardcore, I do a raw ravioli with spinach and my fake cheese in it. You wouldn't know the difference. And I make a tomato sauce to go over it, or I make a cheese sauce. I mean, I really have duplicated everything that you eat in your world in my world.
You make it fun, because I know when you go to the restaurant, you see a mac and cheese steak sandwich, like, really?
Yeah.
But then it tastes so good, and I guess it sort of tricks the mind into thinking.
I want a mac. Okay, let's say
I do the best mac and cheese.
You can't have cheese for Orthodox during Lent. So tell me, or dairy, so how do you make...
you go to Karyn's Cooked on Wells and you can get mac and cheese. We make our own soy.
How do you make it?
We make it with our own soy milk and soy. We make our own soy cheese.
So you soy cheese and a little...
And regular macaroni.
And regular macaroni. How about
and we use the soy milk,
How about a burger?
We do a fake burger.
With what? What do you make it with?
Well, there are different ways to make it. The one in the book, we're using... what am I using in the book? I'm using beans, right. I soak beans, I cook beans, and then I mix it with different vegetables, and then you saute the vegetables and you put it all in the frying
and when
pan.
you look at it, the texture of it looks exactly like a burger.
And by the time you put
visually,
your mustard and onion and ketchup, you don't know the difference.
Right. Visually, when you're looking at it, because this is radio, and people
food
aren't
is so
seeing
emotional.
Visual.
You're not.
Same.
A lot of times, if it just looks the same and tastes good, you're not going to be freaked out by it.
Yeah, I'm not freaked out now, although I will be freaked out later, because I think Sean from Elmwood Park and a bunch of other guys are going to be outside the door ready to smack me around. Listen, we're getting texts from 773. John, I just finished a bowl of corned beef and cabbage leftovers crushed and browned on the grill. Good.
See, once you graduate through this vegan process, and I know that you have and you're doing really well, then I'm going to take you over to the raw.
That's the hardcore,
down.
though, Lauren. We don't take them to raw for a while. We start them out at the cooked restaurants.
I just want to challenge.
What do you want me to do?
We're not going to take you to the raw restaurant.
You
want to go to a raw restaurant? Go to my backyard.
No, I'm not going raw oysters.
Here's what I do. I pull out an onion out of the ground. I wash it off. I wash it off with the hose. I put some salt and pepper on. I eat it with a beer.
I could do that.
And beer is vegan, right? Because it's not...
not all beer. Not all beer. As a matter of fact, at the party tonight, we're using John Sally's wine. It's a vegan wine. And the reason that makes it vegan is a lot of your alcohols, they filter through fish scales. Most people don't realize that.
Well, let's not. I don't want to get into that.
You don't want to know.
Like Guinness. Guinness makes it. Guinness is tasty. They use fish.
They use the fish stomach is what we learned last week.
The first little vegan anti. You're trying to be normal and get in my world, and then you drop the fish thing like you're trying to,
But we have vegan beer at the restaurant. It's real alcohol.
Listen,
we have everything for you.
Before I break into Kumbaya, okay, I would like to, when we come back, I'd like to ask you, you're a restaurant owner, so let's deal with politics. How do you deal with the politics of Chicago, running a restaurant in Chicago? Okay,
oh boy!
Because I grew up in a business, and my brother ended up having the family business, and I thought we should have cots for the inspectors just so they could sleep over, because they kept coming. But that was political. City Hall didn't like. I guess the City Hall didn't like what I was writing, and they gave us a message. But when we come back, let's talk about a little bit about running a restaurant in Chicago. Okay, and your food is great. And soak your nuts, Karyn Calabrese.
And coming up, we'll have dessert, John.
Back, a big, fat donut, chocolatey looking. Can't wait. John Cass, Lauren Cohn, we're back after this.
Boy, some chicken wings had really hit the spot.
89 WLS. Take control of your financial...
Playing that music, I was thinking you and... our guest doing like a little bossa nova.
We're going to be doing that at the party tonight.
And that is where again?
At 130 South Green Street, right out in Greektown. And we'll have dancing and swag bags and music, and there's still tickets available. We'd love to see you down there tonight. It'll be fun.
And it's all in memory of Dino Calabrese,
Yes,
your son?
it's for the memorial for my son. And I figured it would be a positive legacy for him.
Absolutely. And for two charities, Chicago Canine Rescue and Safe Humane Chicago as well.
Well, I'm getting a text. Somebody said, let's see. I'm going to Gene and Giorgetti's for a garbage salad and prime rib extra blood.
All right.
All right?
All right.
They won't give up. Listen, guys, I'm turning over. I'm eating vegan, and I'm voting for Obama. I want to sit in Obama's lap now.
Obama likes hamburgers.
And you like those desserts? You just tried the dessert?
What?
You tried the chocolate cake and the donut?
That's the donut.
This donut is gigantic. I just had it, and you know
Looks
what?
exactly like a donut, folks, by the way.
It's really tasty, chocolatey donut, and all I need is my Tribune Sports section, a cup of coffee, and a Camel filter, and it would be awesome.
Right.
I would be like back in the diner someplace. This is just really good. It is delicious, Karyn.
And you can get that donut at Karyn's Cooked on Wells Street. So the different restaurants, they're all different. They all have different menus, so you don't have to get bored. I can take care of you wherever.
I would never get bored with
You
this
have a food truck?
I'm thinking about it, except the politics of it. I don't know how well it would go for me at this point in time.
3 restaurants? How many inspectors? Do you have like your own facilitators? Do you have guys come over? Any guy come over and say, "Hey, Karyn, how you doing?"
Do you
how
know
you doing,
they
Karyn?
do? The city can make it very difficult for restaurant owners. It really can. Hopefully, it's getting a little better. But I mean, it took them almost 2 months for me to open up Green Street. I was just throwing money down the drain because nobody would come out, and I would call and they'd say, "Oh, Mr. So-and-so has left."
When you want Chicago's classic hits, turn to 94.7 WLS. For traffic and weather info, tune in to 890 AM WLS for traffic and weather first on the 5s when you need it most.
Get everything you need to know before you get to work and some high-energy common sense, plus news, traffic, and weather first on the 5s and some laughs. Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft, mornings at 5 on Chicago's Talk Leader 89 WLS.
Well, that was one heck of...
It was fun. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, it was. It was very tasty, and got me at a weak moment. I'm still waiting for boys at Capri to bring me the carpaccio, but after Lent. Right now, this is where I'm going.
Right.
Okay, so what do we have
Meantime,
now?
we've got this sort of interesting story coming out of New Jersey, where if you look at WLS's website, we're going to link the story. There's a picture of a young boy wearing glasses and fatigues and has a gun. Apparently his dad gives him the gun. It's a military-style assault rifle, but his father said it's actually a .22 caliber copy. That's what people were thinking it was.
Because they don't know the difference.
Because they don't know the difference.
They see a gun with a barrel and they think
they don't know
it's...
the difference. So he decides he's very excited. He puts it on Facebook. And then the next thing you know, someone, anonymous person, makes a phone call because the picture's taken outside of the house. You can see the little blades of grass. And the next thing you know, the New Jersey Department of Children and Family Services, along with several police officers, are at the family's door knocking. And basically the mom was home at the time and called the father. They wanted to come in and they wanted to search the home. They wanted to search to see what kind of weapons or wanted to search the home. They were concerned. And
because here's 591-8900. Lauren, I'm sorry to have interrupted. And I should have turned my phone off. But when I see something like this, I can't help but get angry. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, first of all, the boy. I'm looking at the photo of the boy. He's in camo because he wants to go hunting, not because he wants to attack somebody. Just because people don't understand about weapons, they think camo means white teenager gun. That means everyone's going to get slaughtered.
Well, you know, everybody's been on edge since Newtowns, and they're a little concerned. So
let me tell you a story. When I was a little boy, I had a gun. Okay, it was like 50 pounds. It was a shotgun. My dad let me carry it when we went hunting. All right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's not illegal. And the way it is now, it's like, oh, I saw a kid with a gun in he's in his back. He's probably in his backyard. I'm looking at the picture. He's in the backyard against the garage.
You see some of the brick and you see a little bit of the grass, so it looks like he's outside.
They make it, and then they send, so some neighbor, instead of the neighbor coming down and saying, knocking on the door, okay? If you're really that freaked out and you're a wuss and you don't know anything about weaponry and your kids see something on Facebook and so you're thinking, Sandy Hook, I better go attack these people.
Right.
Knock on the door and say, hey, neighbor, this is going on. Can we talk about it? I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I just want to know. That I could deal with that with the neighbor. But you send the cops Sean,
Well, and then the other part of this is that they wanted to go inside, and they wouldn't let him inside because they said you don't have a search warrant, and you don't have any rights to come inside.
You
and
don't
search
have any
for us.
rights to search my house because I'm still an American. I think we forget that in this country. Sean, Elmwood Park, weigh in.
I'm reading an interesting. I just got done with my fourth grader. We did a book report, and she did it. It was called Daniel, the Siege of Boston. You ever hear of this book? It's a pretty famous book. It's about a 9-year-old that helped keep the Sons of Liberty and the revolutionaries informed to the plans of the British. And the kid also helped carry guns back and forth. He was essential in the fighting off of the British in Boston. He was a 9-year-old little boy. And what I think has happened, and it's a plot of the schools and the government, is they've emasculated our children. And they've emasculated the men. And we could tie two segments together and tie in the vegan food if you like.
Yeah, okay, soak your nuts. All right, buddy. I know what you mean.
But the point is, you keep doing this to our people, and you keep ignoring the due process, and you keep overbearing parenting our own children. And before you know it, it's like you always say, government is the daddy. And that's a problem.
You know what, Sean?
If dad wants him to hold a gun, he has a gun, period.
Thanks, Sean. They're just giving it up. This is what happens, Americans. You're giving up your liberty to the government because you don't have the guts or the brains to either read the Constitution or figure out what you want to do. So everyone says, Daddy, come help me. Daddy, please help me. It's driving me insane. Come on. Stand up, Trumbalones. George in Newark. What's up?
Good morning, John and Lauren. Thank you guys so much for taking my call. I love your show.
Thank you.
Well, I heard about this story 2 days ago because I frequent some firearms rights forums online, and someone had posted it on there. And I saw the picture, and, I mean, this kid looks like he's got a big smile on his face. He's holding it responsibly. His finger's off the trigger. I mean, and his father's an instructor, a very well-certified instructor. So I don't see how the kid looked like he was in any kind of danger. I mean, it looked like he had just earned the privilege of getting that picture taken and was very proud of that. I don't think he looked like he was ready to do harm or was in any kind of
right.
danger.
And had he not posted the picture on Facebook, we probably wouldn't even be talking about the story. It was the fact that he was excited he posted on Facebook, and then that's what caused whoever saw it on Facebook to make that
he's
call.
He's holding the gun, as you noted, George. I think he's holding the gun up and away. He's got his index finger off the trigger guard. It's not anywhere near the trigger. It is in the spot where it belongs. This is a boy who's been well-trained with firearms. This is a responsible family. They are Americans. Get with it, America. But you know what? I might be wrong. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong, but others might have a point of view.
I can see the point of view, John, if someone who's living nearby and is still edgy about Newtown to see this and maybe take it the wrong way, or maybe perhaps children saw it on Facebook and went and ran to their parents. But the part about they came to the house and then they're like, we want to search, that's when you put a stop to it.
How about if you just knock on the door and say, can I talk to you, neighbor? Stu and Oswego, maybe I'm wrong. What's up, Stu?
Hi, John. How are you?
Hi, buddy.
You said earlier that people were all up in arms because this is a look-alike gun and not an assault rifle, and they couldn't tell the difference. But
I didn't say that.
You said?
No, we were just quoting what was in the article.
Oh, okay.
I can tell the difference. Yeah, go on.
Well, I know. My point is that what difference would it make if there was an AR-15? Those guns are not illegal yet, and I read that a lot of those police officers knew this man because he's an NRA-trained instructor in their town. They knew him. So, and he had the good sense to call his attorney, and his attorney told the police officers that they could not search the house without a warrant. They tried. They tried to do it, and that doesn't just happen in New Jersey. That's happened here in Illinois. It's actually happened to me, and I told the police the same thing. You don't have a warrant. You can't search my house, and if he's on his property with his weapon, it doesn't matter if he's wearing his buttless chaps running around going, yee-haw, he's on his property.
I hope he doesn't do that, but that's his business, right? He's an American. Thank you very much, Stu, from Oswego. John Cass, Lauren Cohn. We'll be back after this.
89 WLS. Breaking news around the clock. One station making history every day. Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS.
Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS, on the air and on iHeartRadio.
John Cass, Lauren Cohn, 89 WLS. We're talking about Big Brother trying to get into your house because a neighbor saw a picture on a Facebook of a little kid, a young boy, holding a rifle. And you know what? The media clearly doesn't understand when they see a rifle, they think it's an assault weapon, right? Mm-hmm. Their first instinct is to go, assault weapon. They don't know. Number two, when I was a kid, Lauren, Glenn Horton, a friend of mine, and I were like 10 years old, 11. We wanted this Remington 22. Okay? Mm-hmm. And talked about it and wrote papers about it and showed pictures about it to everyone. If I had done that now, if I was a kid now doing that, they would, the DCFS would be knocking at my door asking why my mom and dad aren't good parents? What ridiculous nonsense. Alexander in Chicago.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, John. I'm a huge fan of your program, and I would like to comment. I think this gentleman, the father of the child, did a marvelous thing and a very smart and noble thing by refusing to back down and refusing the search warrant without probable cause or an actual search warrant of his premises. If more people would do that, we will have less strange cases of people just blabbering and trying to buckle under pressure. Second point, I would say that castigating that person, making a witch hunt on a person who's a law-abiding citizen who's trying to teach safety use of any type of weapon. And as I know that you're a wonderful cook and you use knives in cooking, you love lamb, I know.
I also have guns, too.
Yes, I know that, too. But we're not banning knives. And I grew up in a household. My father was an avid hunter and a fisherman, and he taught me safety. And not even one time we had an episode of unsafe use of a weapon. Not even one time.
All right. Thank you so much, Alexander. You're right. This is an example of the political left destroying your Constitution to wreak their will on you. John Cass, Lauren Cohn, 89 WLS. We're back after this.
89 WLS.
Hey, before we go, just let you know that there's news breaking. You might read about it tomorrow in the newspapers. The Supreme Court should be deciding whether or not the Inspector General of the City of Chicago can subpoena records from the mayor. The last time they tried it, Daley told him to go take a hike. So we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see on that one. And we want to thank Senator Tom Coburn for talking to us today about wasteful government, and Karyn Calabrese for bringing in yummy vegan food and for her wonderful charity event tonight.
And also, we want to thank all of you who listen to this program, who call in, who just let us be part of your day. Listen, I know it's not easy, but, the fact that you do take time, maybe it is easy. You take time, have a cup of coffee, listen to us. I love it. The reason I do it and the reason, Lauren, you do it.
Talk about important issues.
And, I just like talking to readers. I just love it.
So we appreciate it, yeah.
Now we've got to go to federal court and watch a crooked alderman get convicted. John Cass, Lauren Cohn, see you in 22.
Friday, tomorrow.
Bye.
From Chicago to the North American continent.
In our 89th year, entertaining Chicago. 89 WLS.
It's going to be warm today. Don't wear your fur coats. Don't drink a lot of beer.
I'm announcing my candidacy today for a second term as mayor.
Our 89th year, Chicago's talk leader.